What up, bro? How's
Hey,
it going,
buddy.
man?
It's going good. I'm excited for today.
Yeah, same here. How you been?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Another good day, Just fighting the good fight out there.
Fighting the good fight. Yes, sir. So anyway, what's the topic today, Thomas?
War.
War.
Yeah.
What it is it good
Oh,
for?
absolutely not. Yeah. I saw one on the. That girl, the Haktua. Have you seen that chick?
Dude, don't talk. I get so irritated. How can you get famous going up to,
Ah, man.
You know, all these prostitutes are
Crazy.
pissed, right?
She's the next, who was the girl on Dr. Phil?
The
Catch You
bad
Outside.
Barbie. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, all these prostitutes are pissed because I did the hawk tour before she did.
I'm the original Haktua.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how people can get famous off of that.
It's lucky, man. It's like the people. It's like Rickroll, like Rick Astley.
Who's
He
that?
made so much money off of. You know that never gonna give you up.
Oh yeah.
Never gonna let. You know how online like everybody's like, oh, you got Rickrolled because it's like, oh, check out the new such and such movie is coming out, and then you hit play on the trailer and it's like, never gonna give you up. Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet. I'm glad
you
I haven't. I'll probably do it to somebody.
But he made like a killing just on, the merchandising and stuff because people were getting like the Rickroll t-shirts. And it's the same thing with the Hawk Tuah girl. She's been getting killer money on merchandising. And
Yeah, I mean,
stuff like that. If you can just manage to get a little bit famous for even a little while, you can get merchandising like crazy.
oh god, can you imagine if like one of these nights you go out and you're drunk as shit and you go tuh by accident?
I know.
And be like, oh no, I'm gonna
spit on that.
Yeah,
thing.
spit on that thing. I'm like, man, I'm posting that
Like,
shit right
damn,
now.
I'm famous now. Mom, not for the reason I wanted. Mom, I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
Your family would disown you,
I
huh, Thomas?
know.
Yeah, but anyway, well, we got a shot here. What'd you bring, Thomas?
99 vodka.
Woo. Well, cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Whoa. Not gonna lie, that shit was strong. Nah, man, I can't. Anyway, woo.
Yeah. It's good.
Here I am with no chaser, huh?
Man, what happened, bro?
What happened?
Yep.
But anyway, that's what happens when you turn 40. You just don't give a fuck anymore. You just down it. Remember back in the day, you'd be like, give me that Coke or I need that Mountain Dew for a chaser. Right now, you don't give a fuck about life.
Right. It's those hardened lungs, bro. It's like you've been hitting the bottle too hard, Richie. No, I'm just
Well,
kidding.
it's like, because I like to smoke cigars, and people always tell me, they're like, how can you just sit there and smoke on a cigar all the time? It's because it's kind of heavy. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just used to it.
I know if somebody's like doesn't smoke, it's like they take one puff and they're like, they can't handle it.
Yeah, so it's crazy. But yeah.
Me, I would not be able to handle it.
Cigars? You don't like cigars?
No, I don't. I just don't do it. I just don't smoke,
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you're not supposed to
like
inhale.
I used to smoke, but not cigars, but
The cigarettes. Well, I used to smoke cigarettes myself.
cigarettes.
But then once I started, we'll just say cigarettes, all right, Thomas?
Yeah.
But
Not anymore, but
man, well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Had to quit those habits.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. I mean, there's worse things you can do.
Sure.
You know, you can fondle an old lady or something. You never know.
No, but I'm happy. I'm not. No. So
That's a personal choice.
Yeah.
Huh? I've never really been into it. So.
Yeah, if you do, then then more power to you. It's not like it's nothing, no big deal.
It's not like you're in high school and you're like, hey, you want a beer? No, I don't drink. And you're like, you don't drink? Like, you fucking weirdo.
Right.
But now it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't think the peer pressure's there like it was.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
That's true.
Yeah.
But anyways, what can you tell us about war, Thomas?
It's definitely a fun subject to talk about. It's not a fun subject to be a part of, but if you're ever been to war, I'm sure it's a horrible thing, but
no,
I really enjoy looking up the history and reading about the history, and I don't, it's one of those things I always got to go back and it's like, what happened during that,
is there a certain era that you really prefer more than others?
I don't want to be the cliche and say World War II, but that's
what I was gonna say.
I know, exactly. It's the most interesting time. It's the largest major conflict ever, like that's ever been. So it's kind of shaped what our world became, and just the future of how it all went to. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just a fun one, just I always fall asleep to the documentaries on Netflix, and
Do you fall asleep?
The World War II. Well, just it's like if I throw it on at night, it's like no matter how interesting the subject is.
Dude, that's like drugs to me. I'm like, I'm wide awake looking at that. I'm like, how can that ever happen?
Did you watch the World War II in color on Netflix?
I actually have it saved on my list, but I have not seen it.
It's a fun one.
I'm watching a show on HBO called Pacific. Have you heard of it? Highly recommend it.
I don't think I have heard of it. Is that World War II?
It's during like the Korean War.
Oh,
pretty much close. It was like in the mid 50s.
Is it documentary style or?
It's a show. I think Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg produced it.
Oh.
Yeah. Which as soon as I read that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch it.
Fun. Yeah. Heck yeah. I know Saving Private Ryan with Tom Hanks. Best war movie, dude.
Really?
Best war. What's your favorite war movie besides Saving Private Ryan?
I like Saving Private Ryan.
And can't say Braveheart. Braveheart's great, but.
Oh yeah, I love Braveheart. Yeah. If I get to pick a movie, Fury. Have you ever seen Fury?
No.
Probably the best war movie I've ever seen. Yeah.
Fury? Fury. I have to check it out.
World War II.
I really like war movies. So.
Yeah. And what about Enemy at the Gate? Have you seen Enemy at the Gate?
I've heard of that one.
Probably one of the best war movies.
Fury, I have never even heard of.
It's on Netflix. Check it out.
Okay.
Make it a weekend. Trust me.
Is it World War II?
World War II, yeah. These guys get in a tank and they go after the Germans. And same scenario as always.
Just those guys. Who's in it?
Brad Pitt.
Oh, I know I've seen.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf is in it.
Yeah, I've seen clips.
Yeah, it's really
all
good.
like, you saved, boy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I don't think there's a war movie out there that you're like disappointed. Have you ever seen We Were Soldiers by Mel Gibson?
Oh yeah, he's in it, right? It's Vietnam, right?
Vietnam.
Yeah, that one's cool. That one's a good ride.
Which I never.
Saving Private Ryan, though, dude. That first scene on the Normandy beach scene. Holy moly!
Oh god,
such a great movie, man.
You think they exaggerated, or you think that actually?
No, I bet it is exact. They talked to vets about that movie when they went. Vets went and see, and they were like, dude, that's like accurate to a T. How it was. Yeah. So intense.
I'm still waiting for
oh my gosh! Can you imagine being on one of those? What are they? The U-boats?
The U-boats.
Yeah, where like the front comes down and all you got is freaking 50 cal machine gun fire coming into your boat.
There's no chance.
Everybody in front of you just just falls down.
Yeah, there's absolutely no chance whatsoever. You're getting
some of those U-boats were just everybody inside mowed down right when the door came down.
That and especially when these planes were dropping missiles and stuff, and if it hits you, you're done. Like you're locked in there. You can't do anything about it.
Those poor kids. Some of them were younger than 18. Some of them just lied to get in. Not even 18 years old.
Oh yeah, I bet those like Russians and Germans, they've always had under 18 soldiers. I guarantee you.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm
sure they take advantage. I mean, and we probably didn't vet. Like it's like, oh, we got to make sure you're 18. It's like at that time you're just like, we want to take anybody. We need to get soldiers in there.
Yeah, they're like, well, you got asthma. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I know.
But,
Meat shield.
It's like Vietnam too. I never understood the Vietnam War. I know we went to Vietnam because the Vietnam War was Northern Vietnam against Southern Vietnam, right?
Okay.
And they had Russia and China, if I'm not mistaken, help the Northern, be allies.
And we were trying to help the South.
Well, this is the excuse.
Like a Korean
the U.S. government says,
here.
well, we don't want communists to spread.
Oh.
So we're going to go over there and start a war with them.
That was like the official.
That was supposedly. But
why we went in, and
I think it was more though.
There was more.
There's definitely more.
I'm sure there
maybe
is.
Economical.
Yeah,
something.
I'm sure if you dig deep enough, there's like there's always something more in war. It's like you don't just go to war for. I don't know. I mean.
Yeah.
It's just like nobody was messing with the U.S. right during that time. We just stepped in, right? Just jumped in there. It's like
because
it's like we didn't step in during World War II until we got hit at the gates with Pearl Harbor.
Well, that was actually with Japan when they dropped Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, but we didn't step into the World War II until that time.
No,
until we got attacked.
Well, actually,
right?
Well, the thing was, it's kind of FDR and Churchill were really good allies together. So FDR and Churchill, when Germany was already at the brink, they already took over France. So when they're at the brink of Great Britain, Churchill said, we need help. And again, the United States saving another country's ass, but we should have been more focused on Japan, to be honest with you.
Yeah, officially we didn't step in though, right? Until after Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, correct. That is correct. Yeah, we didn't step in Pearl Harbor, but we also attacked. Have you seen the movie? What's it called? When they're at the Turduncan, Dunkirk. Sorry, Turduncan.
Oh, Dunkirk.
Dunkirk. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of Dunkirk. What exactly happened?
Dunkirk was at the coast of France, and they were pushing the Germans away. So they actually went there by sea and pushed the Germans away from the southern part of France.
The United States did?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also Great Britain. So if they would have conquered that, they would have ended up in Great Britain.
Oh.
And if they ended up in Great Britain, I think then the United States would have had a problem.
Yeah, I know that it was like it was closer than people think in some ways, you know.
Yeah.
I know that like there was some mistakes made by the Germans where they could have done, if they would have done this, then they would have prevailed, but they didn't do this.
Well, the Germans, I think, were high on meth the whole time.
Yeah,
that was
somebody. Maybe it was you that we were talking about.
Yeah, have you seen Hitler in the Olympics? They have a video of Hitler in the Olympics, and he's fucking tweaking out, really? Dude. Yeah.
Well, didn't he have like Parkinson's too?
I don't know. I never heard of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where'd you hear that from?
I think there was evidence to support that he had Parkinson's. If you look it up, yeah, go ahead. Check it out. I'm pretty sure he did. I think they said something about it, that they confirmed he did have Parkinson's. So he was shaky. I don't know if that was why he was tweaking out, but
because that's the only part he's tweaking out. I've never seen.
Is his hand?
No, it's his whole body. Oh. He's like just like
I mean,
crackhead.
I mean, it would explain it, I guess, that if it is part. I think there is like a thing about that he did have Parkinson's.
Well, yeah, it says he had.
Not to say he didn't use meth. I'm sure he did. I mean, that guy was freaking crazy.
Oh God! It says right here, Adolf Hitler had Parkinson's symptoms in 1934 at the age of 45. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure he was tweaking though. If he's giving his soldiers meth, why wouldn't he take it himself?
Well, yeah, when they attacked France,
pretty sure meth was like a pretty regulated like drug back then. Like you could get it.
Oh yeah,
pretty easily.
You can go to a grocery store, get some bread, some milk, and a little bit of meth on the side.
Easily.
Yeah,
I mean, it was no problem.
But back then, those guys were nonstop at war. I mean, when you go for 3 days nonstop, that's what it was said, that they would go 3 days.
Oh wow!
And just battle. Yeah. They have to be on something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, makes sense to me. I wouldn't doubt it. I would say that was probably a smart move if there was
for the Germans.
I know, it's like we got super soldiers over here. You know, they don't need to sleep.
Yeah.
Like why not?
But hey man, here
we gotta get it.
Here's your ammo. Here's your gun, and here's a little meth.
Yeah, let's take any advantage I can.
No, but there is a book out there, and it's called Blitz.
I don't condone the use of methamphetamine.
Do not use meth, kids or soldiers. Mm-hmm. But there is a book out there called Blitz. It's called Drugs in the Third Reich by Norman Ohler, and that's what he talks about, how fucked up these guys were constantly, which makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, a whole country is taking on all
you want any advantage you can. If it's going to give you an advantage, if you physically to do more, you know.
But World War II for sure was the bloodiest. I mean, just the Russians alone,
you know,
it was over a million.
World conflict for a single country. I guess the Revolutionary War for America, for how many casualties of Americans, obviously, that were lost. Revolutionary War lost the most.
Yeah, the Gettysburg one, that was pretty insane.
Isn't it weird how strategies changed with war over time too? Have you seen The Patriot?
Yeah, I've seen it.
And it's like how they like just march in lines and they're just marching towards each other, like kind of like at a like there's no urgency here. You know,
I don't want to die right now.
Like let's just stand here and get shot. And you know,
there's no strategy.
Yeah,
there's no strategy.
I think the strategy was different. It was
the commanders.
Men were definitely like pawns back then more than ever.
They weren't like the Troy and Persia. Have you that war? Have you ever heard of have you ever seen the movie Troy?
I've seen parts.
Yeah, that's like based on a true event.
Yeah, I know Troy.
Those were fucking wars, dude. No guns, no guns, just pure stabbing and pure combat fighting.
Yeah, just hand to hand crap.
Yeah. None of that bullshit from
melee
shooting.
weapons.
But I feel to me
they had arrows.
Oh yeah,
ballista.
Arrows. You can survive an arrow, can't you?
Catapults. Yeah.
But no, hands down, World War II is probably one of the most gruesome wars.
And
what's crazy is that Hitler and Joseph Stalin were going to be allies. I mean, if these two were allies, it would have been really tough. I don't think the outcome of the war would have happened the way it did if these two were still allies. But what happened was Hitler betrayed Stalin, and so they end up Hitler wanted to take part of Russia as well.
Hitler got too big for his britches, for sure.
Dude, that guy, I can't even imagine being in his brain for a second.
Yeah. I was looking something up before I came over because I had heard about that maybe Hitler didn't kill himself. And that's a conspiracy that's been floating out there.
Well, they never found his body.
Yeah. What I read was through some eyewitness accounts that, I don't know, I can't remember who it was now, but they rolled his body up in a thing and buried him in a bunker and set it on fire, and they went and dug that up and found his skull and matched it with dental records or something like that, and they're like, it's definitely Hitler. But it's still, I think, a little bit shady.
Yeah.
Because what they thought was Hitler's skull for a long time was actually a woman's skull.
Really?
Yeah. They confirmed that it was the skull of some 40-year-old woman, and Hitler was like 56.
I wonder what... Because Hitler, I mean, if you ever heard the monuments in Argentina of the German Nazi monuments that they have over there, the memorabilia that's hidden in these like
where at?
Argentina valleys.
Oh, Argentina?
Yeah.
Where is that? Is that South America?
It's in South America.
Yeah, I have heard about that. There's like conclaves of Nazis, like little villages out there.
Yeah. They found so much memorabilia in Argentina, and
there was a fighter that's like a special forces guy, like a UFC fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
From Argentina?
He talks about it. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast. He talked about it. I don't know. He's not from Argentina. He was like a U.S. Special Forces.
Oh, no, I haven't heard it.
I can't remember his name. He talked about it, and he talks about Nazis in South America and all the memorabilia.
Well, if you have all their memorabilia, I mean, they had to migrate over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kennedy? Is it Tim Kennedy?
Yeah, I've never heard of Tim Kennedy.
Yeah. I can't remember his name. Yeah.
But yeah, it was it's pretty interesting how they all, and also Argentina is also known for a lot of Italian people going over there.
Yeah.
Which was an ally of the Germans.
The Germans. They were part of what they call the axis of evil. One of the axes of evil. I mean, I think that was actually coined by George W. Bush when I looked that up. Because I thought that was like a term for World War II. Mm-hmm. But I guess that was a term for something else.
I'd have to look
for
into
some
that.
Middle Eastern countries as well. But specifically the axis of evil of World War II, which was Germany, Italy, and Japan.
Yeah. Well, Japan, I guess they attacked for a deal that went wrong. I don't know if it was economic. I haven't really looked into it, but that's what pissed them off. It really wasn't anything with Germany, because what I think was they were attacking China, right? And there's this book called The Rape of China.
Nanking.
Have you ever heard of it?
Nanking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would rape and they killed Chinese people like there was
it was like a 6-week massacre. And they just rape and murder of women.
And nobody talks about it really. When you think of World War II, you think about Germany.
It's an ugly, ugly thing to talk about. And I'm sure it's a shameful topic for Japanese to bring up. It's like I'm sure there's great people who are Japanese, but it's one of those things that. The times are different.
We
don't like us in America. We don't like to talk about
we never did nothing wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so every country has some ugly side of the past, but the rape of Nanking, was a real bad one. That was a real ugly spot for history.
Did you read that book?
No, but I have seen videos on YouTube about Nanking and kind of what
it's
happened.
sad, and it was just.
Babies being
children
killed.
And women, and they targeted children and women.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how anyone can have a heart to be like, sure, let's just invade and do whatever the fuck we want. So in that aspect, I'm kind of glad U.S. interfered, because you never know. And then and then you just poke the bear by throwing a couple bombs. So you fuck up.
What I was just gonna
That's
say.
what you get, motherfucker. You get an atomic bomb now.
Yeah. So it's like we're even.
No, we fucked them up bad.
I know. No, yeah.
They dropped 2 atomic.
Hey, well, it's like you're gonna do some pretty atrocious things. You're gonna get it 10 times worse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they even saw.
Yeah.
And I don't even think they'd imagine.
I know. I don't think the bomb was like maybe the best answer
for the civilians.
I heard that because when you look it up, like, did we really have to drop the bomb? There's people saying that yes, we should have, and people saying no, we shouldn't have, because we were going to win the war anyways, or something like that. Which I don't know the specifics, but if we could have avoided it, maybe we should have avoided it.
Right.
But
no, I agree. I don't think it was necessary. I think it was more of a message. Say, don't ever fucking do this again.
Yeah, maybe so.
And what a hell of a message, because you had a lot of innocent people die.
Because generations are affected. Generations and generations.
Nuclear war is never fun. But they dropped 2 bombs, and do you know what the code for the bombs were? It was Fat Boy and
Little Man and Fat. Was it Little Man?
Little Man and Fat Boy.
Fat Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, those were a code for I'm dropping it. Which I thought was pretty interesting. But
I think they wrote on the bomb.
Yeah, it was written on the bomb itself. But yeah, war is never fun, especially for civilians. And what kind of ego do you must have to think that you can just do shit like that? It's always been crazy to me. Hitler. Oh, okay, I don't like you because you're Jew. It's like, dude, are you fucking stupid, dude? Like, what's wrong with you, man?
So weird. And I was talking to my fiance before I came over here, because she does a lot of research about World War II. Is one of her favorite subjects to talk about too. So I was talking to her about it, and she talked about how Hitler really didn't feel one way or another until later on. Like, he did develop a deep hatred for Jewish people, but at first it was just because there was already kind of dissent for Jewish people. I don't know the right word, but anyways, in Germany, Jews were already not liked. Right. So Hitler kind of used that to his advantage to come into power and to gain support.
I believe it started in World War I, when he was a soldier. He was attacked by.
He was a soldier.
He was a soldier, and a lot of Jewish people from the other side were shooting and attacking. So he got that anger from World War I. But I heard an interesting story that when he was 8 years old, he was drowning in a lake, and a priest just happened to pass by and save him.
Huh.
Yeah, he was in them all by himself.
Like a Catholic priest?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you let that fucking baby drown or whatever, maybe we would never have World War II. But, you didn't know. But, Hitler was a strange dude, because he was really into art. And even though he was into art, he was never really good at it. And I guess you get pissed off of that. Well, I'm not good. Well, fuck you. I'm going to start a war then. But... yeah, Hitler's
like
just
that Jewish kid over and across from him was really good at it.
Yeah,
it's like, that son of a gun.
He's like, fuck. But dude,
I'll show you.
If you can look into Hitler's brain, it would be super interesting.
Yeah,
super interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And not just Hitler. There was we were just talking about it. Candace Khan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What were you saying?
I was saying like some percentage. There's a decent percentage of people. I don't know.
And for the people who don't know, can you explain who he is?
Oh, Genghis Khan. He was a conqueror with the Hun Empire. I don't know a lot.
The Mongolian.
Mongolian Empire. Yeah. So the Huns, and he somewhere along the line, and I don't know when it started, but he wanted to get his seed out there, I guess.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so there was a lot of people out there in Eurasia where you can find Genghis Khan DNA. Yeah.
Wow, so he just started fucking everybody.
Yeah, I would let me...
Dude, how badass you have to be. You have your own empire, you're a badass soldier, and you're getting every girl pregnant that you possibly can.
Oh, yeah. It's like, why not? Why not? Dude.
But it was estimated that he's
such an odd time period, too.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine living back then.
No, I can't either.
Yeah.
But it was estimated that he killed himself over 1 million people.
Oh.
Himself.
Jeez. How many people?
I don't know how
many people a day does that have to be?
I don't know who counts that, or I don't know who, but that's what
or just through his own, through him ordering people to be killed by his own hand.
By his own hand, he's killed over 1 million people.
It's just I gotta get my morning murder in.
It's like who's gonna get it today?
Yeah.
He's looking at this chick. Yeah, you're gonna get it today, and then looks at this guy. You're gonna get it today too. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. You got any more of that vodka?
Yeah, in there if you want to grab the bottle.
Oh yeah.
It's just there's a little bit left if you want to go get it. Yeah, so since I'll wait till you come back. Yeah. Well, since a 2003 study found evidence that Genghis Khan's DNA was present in about 16 million men alive at the time, the Mongolian ruler's genetic prowess has stood as an unparalleled accomplishment. So in 2003, there was 16 million people alive at the time that had Genghis Khan DNA.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's an amazing posterity.
That guy's stamina was insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't even imagine. Well, salute, Thomas.
Salute. It's good to be here.
Ooh. Ooh.
That's a space. See, I mean.
Oh, your headset went off again, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but back to the Vietnam War. I never really understood the purpose of that war. Even though a lot of people protested.
Vietnam?
I think it was one of the most protested wars in history.
Which was sad in some ways. I mean, obviously, we probably shouldn't have been involved, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a lot of evidence to support that. But when our troops came back, obviously, they had no choice. If you're in the military, you got to go where you're told.
Yeah.
So, but the troops...
Well, I don't blame the soldiers.
Exactly. Yeah. But a lot of people back then did. And that's what's sad. They got treated so horribly. People, like... You know how we treat vets nowadays,
I still think we treat vets horribly,
I think like in the terms of like how the government treats them, yes. Mm-hmm. I think from a personal standpoint, we like the average civilian gives a lot of respect
to
them. But when they came back from Vietnam, it probably was not uncommon to get spit on.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is horrible.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I mean, I don't think soldiers really, because when they went to Desert Storm, I don't remember people disagreeing with that. Also,
how long did Desert Storm?
It was in '91. A couple
like
years.
10 hours.
Oh. No, 10 hours.
No. Was it a couple years?
Yeah, I think it was during the Bush administration, which I think is funny because what happened in 9/11 when the United States invaded Iraq. I mean. That to me has to be one of the craziest shit ever, and I honestly believe that George Bush Jr. Is he the junior or the second?
George Bush Jr. Yeah.
So George Bush Jr. He actually invaded to get the assassination of Saddam Hussein to get revenge on his dad because Saddam Hussein tried to assassinate his dad.
Oh, really?
So he used 9/11. He used 9/11 as an excuse because when the terrorists were in the plane, nobody was from Iraq. Nobody trained in Iraq. Iraq had nothing to do with any. It was mostly Syria, Afghanistan, Lebanon. Had nothing to do with Iraq. So when they went and said, well, okay, what country are we going to, instead of invading Afghanistan and Syria, they went after Iraq. And I feel like that had something to do with George Bush.
Wanting revenge.
And oil business as well.
I was just going to bring up the oil because I thought that was like the big one that people want to point to as why we actually invaded was for oil.
Well, you couldn't invade Afghanistan because that was their number one oil supplier. You're right. So once Obama went into the office, how easy was that to catch bin Laden? But George Bush, how many years it took him? It didn't take him anything. He never did it.
He never did it.
He never did it.
Yeah. So it's like, was that really like did he try,
No.
Obviously, they were saying that was like one of their main goals was they were trying to get Osama bin Laden, but...
Yeah, what the fuck they're doing grabbing Osama bin Laden in Iraq? He's not in Iraq.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to me that they invaded Iraq.
Where did they find Osama bin Laden? Was it Iran?
Oh.
Or Israel?
I think it was in Afghanistan. I think it was.
Because I think they found him in like a compound. It was like a nice place. It wasn't like they thought that maybe he's hiding in a cave or something like that. And that wasn't the case at all.
They know.
So he was in a compound. Yeah. So I don't know. I want to say it was Iran, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I want to say Afghanistan. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
But what's interesting about that, when Russia and Afghanistan went to war in '79, the United States provided military weapons to Afghanistan. So when we fought Afghanistan during the Obama administration, trying to pull out,
they were hitting us.
They were hitting us with their own weapons.
Yeah.
And like I was telling you earlier, I feel that was on purpose because get this, if you're leaving brand new tanks, brand new armor, brand new technology, anything, they left everything brand new to them and just dipped, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think they have some kind of GPS installed, like in a Humvee, right?
It could be.
And they can track it.
Yeah, that would be such a
that is a crazy conspiracy. Yeah.
So you would think that they were using GPS against us, right?
No,
we were using it
using them, so we know where they're at all times.
Oh, okay.
When
I thought you were saying something like, they could see where we were, so they could move Osama bin Laden. That's why.
Oh, no. We're the ones that left the weapons there. We left the Humvees, the tanks.
Right.
We left everything there.
But couldn't we see where they were too?
Well, yeah, that was the whole point. We installed a GPS in our own Humvees. So when they invaded it and they took it, we know where they're at all times, all the Taliban.
Oh, okay. You don't think that they could see where we were at, though? Right?
No, okay. I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe. I don't think the government would ever allow that.
Or they didn't have the infrastructure to do that. We had the satellites and access to that.
But that's a crazy conspiracy because. If you left they left millions and millions of dollars.
That technology was there.
Oh yeah.
At that time.
You don't just leave millions and millions of dollars of army equipment,
They did it again recently, right?
On what?
Was it Afghanistan again or was it Iraq?
That was during the
just recently,
one.
Right?
That was
where they pulled out. They pulled a bunch of people out.
That was during the Trump administration.
Yeah, it was at the very end, right?
Yeah.
Or it was the very beginning of Biden.
No, Biden didn't do shit, dude. It was all when Trump was in office. He pulled out of Afghanistan.
Are you sure?
Yep. Positive, bro. You want to hear something crazy about Trump?
I gotta look it up. Yeah, I do want to hear.
Trump is the last president since Jimmy Carter to not have to start a war.
Oh wow.
Yeah, isn't that insane?
But I was talking. Yeah, that is crazy, and that's an interesting fact. Well, what are you bringing up about that?
No, well, I was just saying because in Donald Trump, when he talked to the leader of the Taliban, I read in this article that he told him, he says, once we pull out of Afghanistan, if any American soldier gets harmed, we will come after you and kill you. And then he gave him a picture of his house.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, you told me about. I think we were talking about that. You told me about that. Yeah.
I think that's where that GPS. They know everything about these people. They know where they're at, when they go, and so forth. So, I've always thought that was really interesting how they know everything about these people.
That is crazy.
What'd you find there?
So, Joe Biden took office when? Right? Was it 2020 or
16? Oh, 2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in 2024.
Because in July 2021. Joe Biden announced that he would end the U.S. combat mission in Iraq by the end of 2021, with remaining U.S. troops serving in an advisory and assistance role. The U.S. combat mission formally concluded on 9th of December 2021, with 2,500 U.S. troops remaining in the country. But there was
was in Iraq?
There was a big. Yes, in Iraq.
Yeah, what the hell are they doing in Iraq still? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. There was a big controversy though surrounding that because it was like the same kind of thing with George W. Bush, where they or in the Gulf War, right? In the Gulf War, they left a bunch of equipment and things like that. And in this situation, the same thing happened.
Yeah,
they left a bunch of equipment. And they didn't get all the stuff out. They left a bunch of people there, that basically the day after they left, like ISIS rolled in. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, they just basically took over the country again.
I think that's what they wanted. They wanted ISIS to take over. They take over these Humvees. Let's say you take that Humvee to an ISIS camp that nobody knows where it's at. Well, boom, you got their GPS location already.
I mean, that's a good point. Maybe
I feel
like that would be a good. I mean, if you're going to leave equipment like that, you should have something like that.
That's a genius move to do, I believe.
Yeah, it would be smart. And they were saying, because that was a bad look in the media, on the media standpoint, because like, oh, you left weapons and vehicles and everything for them to use.
That's our tax money and this and that.
Yeah, it was a bad look in the media. So they're not going to say if there was some type of strategy behind them doing that.
Right.
They're not going to say what it was. No. But one of the things they did say to try to ease people's concerns about that was that, well, this technology, you have to, if one thing breaks down, they're not going to be able to fix it.
Yeah, oh no. They'll leave it there. Yeah, they don't. I don't think they have the
training and the technology, to fix something that
I mean, they're still using ARs from '79.
It's like our cars nowadays. It's all computerized. Right. Something breaks down. It's not like your car from the '70s. That's
they'll never be able to fix that. So, what do you think of the Israel and Syria war that's going on right now? Have you read upon that or anything?
Yeah, a little bit. I look up a little bit here and there. It's one of those things that it's a high political subject. I don't talk about it a lot with people because most times when I do talk about it with somebody, they get upset. They're hardcore one way or hardcore the other, and it's tough not to get people riled up.
It sucks because I mean the fucking give these kids a chance. That's the way I see it. I know Israel is bombing Syria, and then Hamas, they came and invaded and raped and killed babies and so forth. Everyone knows the story. I don't have to talk about it. But give these fucking kids a chance. I'm sure these guys can come up with something besides that. And I don't want to say I'm for Israel or for Palestine because I feel like Hamas, they looked for the fight and Israel
gave it
to them.
Yeah.
And what I was reading in the news was that the civilian Israel, when they do their airstrikes, they would send flyers and saying, "Hey, we're going to airstrike," and they even gave the time, location, and everything for people to leave. And Hamas will not allow it. People that try to leave, they would shoot them down. And by shooting them down, they would say, "Look how many civilians you killed."
Yeah, how fucked up?
Fucked up is that? But yeah, I hate seeing that shit because of the kids. I mean for anybody, but especially the kids. It's terrible. Just terrible.
It's terrible.
We don't know how fortunate we are sometimes.
Because what are you going to do in that situation as Israel? Are you just going to not attack? You're going to let yourself get attacked over and over again, and you're just not going to do anything because, Hamas is not going to allow their civilians to leave and things like that. So it's like they're going to use the civilians as human shields, so we shouldn't do anything about it.
Well, yeah. Well, and it was said that they went in, murdered women, raped them. Babies, bro. Come on.
Yeah. There was that video of what was it, like a musical concert where they just came in and kidnapped I don't know how many people, and they came in shooting, dude. Basically, it's like I think they came in on what are those it's like where you've got like almost like a parachute and you got like a wind turbine thing on your back.
Oh yeah,
you've seen those. You've seen people use those. They were using those things to come in and shoot people.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. See, that's why I don't understand what are they protesting? The people, innocent people getting killed. I get that.
I don't know. I think, you mean people who are supporting Palestine?
The people that support Palestine in the streets and the schools. Yeah. I mean, it's really bad. I understand that. I guess that's just part of war. But,
exactly. I mean, if you're gonna do something like what they did, you better expect some retaliation.
By protesting, what are you getting?
I feel really bad that civilians get caught up in it. It is a war.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. It is a war,
Yeah.
And I wish that wasn't the way it was. It's freaking sad. It is.
I think because Israel is a huge ally to the United States, right? And people just hate the United States when it comes to military. Because I think of such dominance that they've had throughout the years.
Yeah, and
it's kind of like watching Jake Paul win all these fights, and you just want him to lose.
Well, I get it, I guess, in some sense. I don't want the world. I don't think that the United States should police the world. Sometimes they maybe put their foot in where they shouldn't, too.
They always do.
Yeah.
They always do. And I think this, because of NATO, they're forced to sometimes. Because
it's kind of like with, what was it? There's that Russia conflict with, what country is that?
Afghanistan?
No, Russia and, Ukraine.
Oh, Russia
and Ukraine. I think the United States were trying to get Ukraine as part of NATO, like you're talking about.
Well, yeah, to my understanding, they wanted Ukraine to be part of NATO, and once you're part of NATO, it's like you're backed up by the other countries.
You got U.S. stuff right on the border of Russia at that point.
Here's something interesting. Russia didn't want Ukraine to be part of NATO because once Ukraine is part of NATO, they can have an air base, they can have weapons from other countries. Let's say they have missiles, right? You have missiles pointing at Russia. Everybody hates fucking Russia, right? So you have missiles pointing at Russia. Well, in the Kennedy era, you had Russia at Cuba trying to do the same thing, and the United States said, "Nope, don't even. It's not happening." So now that the United States is trying to do the same thing over there, there's Russia's being like, "Nope, it's not happening. We don't want you right next to us." And that's what I feel like. That's where the war is starting.
Yeah, and
I know they're saying over territory and so forth, but that territory has been there for.
That was cited as one of the main reasons that we were advancing Ukraine to become part of NATO. Right. That was one of the main reasons why Russia invaded Ukraine. Yeah, they didn't want that. You know, we already got Alaska right there. So Alaska and Russia are like
right there,
right next to each other, basically. They didn't like that, and I don't know how we gained Alaska. I don't know the history behind it.
That's another topic.
That's a huge strategic standpoint, actually, against Russia.
So it was crazy. Don't you think it was crazy?
I don't know how many miles that is. It's not very far from Russia.
I'd say about 1,500. Yeah, maybe. I might be wrong, but maybe more, actually, to be honest with you.
How far? Hold on. I'm looking this up because this is important.
Do it.
How far is
Don't you think Russia? It's crazy that they waited for Biden to be in office to attack? Because they've been wanting to do this even when...
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No, they've been wanting to do this even when Trump was in administration, but they never did. They waited till Trump left.
And what did they wait to do? Sorry.
To attack Ukraine.
Oh,
so
I know, right? That's kind of crazy. That's kind of an interesting coincidence.
See,
is it a coincidence?
It's not a coincidence because they're scared of Trump. They're really a lot of countries are scared because I know Trump. Let me say something about Trump. He can be brash and annoying, and I think why are you tweeting? And he does some dumb shit.
During Trump's presidency, that was the worst thing we had to worry about was Trump saying something offensive.
Yeah, something.
Now we have wars all across the world.
To put the fear in God of someone, they were scared of Trump. What other president has gone to North Korea? That's insane. That's insane. That's historic. Like
I think there was actually some pretty good talk. I think there was some progress being made there.
Yeah, and
between the United States and
North Korea doesn't respect Biden, or their administration. But and to be honest, I honestly feel like they say, "Hey, Trump wants to go to North Korea," and Kim Jong-un, he's like, "Hell no," and they're like, "Well, we don't give a fuck what you say."
Yeah,
and that's insane. No president has stepped foot. Only two Americans have gone to North Korea, and that's Trump and Dennis Rodman.
I know they're pretty good friends, Dennis Rodman and Kim Jong.
Come here, I'll give you some North Korean pussy.
Maybe that helped. Maybe that helped quell things in North Korea for a little while. Maybe we should give Dennis Rodman a little credit.
Yeah, put his ass in office. But that's what I'm saying. That's absurd. Yeah. Like I don't know how people are not shocked at shit like that. It's absurd that there's no wars. The economy was booming when Biden went into office. They were getting oil from Canada. Before Biden, they were selling a barrel at $50-some a barrel, right? Under the Trump administration.
Yeah.
When Biden went, it went over 100, right?
Yeah.
And which is good for the oil bankers, right? Why is it good for the oil bankers? Well, that's where they give campaign money. That's where they support. Right. That's where they do all this. So why is it bad for us? Because it raises inflation. Right. It raises gas for us.
If gas goes up, literally
everything goes up. War. If there's war, inflation goes up. Yeah. So how is it that Trump has didn't go to war during his time in office since Jimmy Carter? This is crazy. This is obviously mind blowing. Jimmy Carter's in the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely insane that people don't talk about that shit.
No.
People don't talk about there's no wars, there's no economy was good. I mean, I remember when mortgages were at 4%.
Oh my god!
Interest rate.
My friend bought his house at 2%.
2%? They give it to him or what?
Pretty much.
Right now it's like 7%. That's about right. 7%. It's just insane. I just can't believe it.
I'm paying like $1,670 something for my mortgage right now.
Wow.
$1,670, almost $1,700 for my mortgage.
Thank you, fucking Biden.
Thank you for that.
But
they would have you believe it doesn't have anything to do with the government administration at the time.
Yeah,
that's some bullcrap.
I'm not saying Trump's the greatest president ever because I do not put him up there.
No.
I mean, come on, when you got people like FDR and Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln, you can't put Trump up there.
Yeah, of course. And I want to be hopeful about anybody who's in president. Maybe they'll be great president. I want to be hopeful.
Who do you think is the greatest president?
The greatest president? Oh man, that's a great question. I don't know. Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, a lot of people would say Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. I think FDR. Fuck, dude, I can go on right now about FDR.
Roosevelt?
Yeah, Freddie Delano Roosevelt. Dude, I'm obsessed with FDR. Just the mere fact that he had polio and he went through World War II and he ended the Great Depression. He started Social Security. He started saving banking accounts.
Like the best presidents are definitely not in the last 50 years or last 40 years. I don't know when FDR was. Maybe
it's because that's when
it was like, but like recent presidents.
Well, it was during World War II.
Compared to the old presidents, man, those guys were leaders.
FDR not only, I mean, he was in there during. Imagine being president during the World War II.
Yeah.
During the Great Depression, during having polio, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. He started.
That's insane. Yeah.
He started Social Security. He started like bank accounts. So when the Great Depression happened, everyone started pulling money out of their account, right? So these banks were just high and dry. Yeah. He out of his voice convinced people to trust the government to put money back in the banks to start up the economy. He did that. I mean, that's crazy.
People must have loved.
Imagine if you're broke as shit and you're like your last dollar and and you decide, you know what, I'm gonna go with FDR.
I'm gonna trust him. Yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah,
that would be really tough.
You know what's crazy too is during the World War they would send army tanks right to Europe. FDR would. And he would have all these car distributors, all these companies, stop making cars and start making tanks, right?
Oh.
And Ford, he didn't want no part of it. He said he disagreed with the war. He didn't want to do it and so forth. And FDR says, okay. So he looked at the stats and Ford was one of the lowest producing companies making these tanks. So he personally went over there and says, hey, I just came and checked things out. Next time I come, you better be the number one. And that's what happened.
Oh, wow.
You know, Ford, out of fear, they said, okay, you know.
I didn't know any of that.
That is crazy. So when people don't talk about FDR, I mean, I love the guy. Man, I can go on. Abraham Lincoln, of course, you know, he ended slavery.
Yeah. And see, I feel like exactly like he's probably a popular choice because I didn't do a lot of research like on FDR. That's some pretty amazing stuff.
Oh, FDR was super amazing. And he also... I'm
sure some people would probably see like John F. Kennedy too and stuff like that. Just because I feel like nowadays there's a lot of popularity with like how he talked. Yeah. And like some of the speeches he gave.
He made good speeches.
Yeah.
But
now like the secret wars and the secret governments and blah blah blah.
Yeah. It's not what you can do for your country. Yeah. What country can do for you.
We choose to go to the moon. But, not because it is easy, but because it is hard.
Well, also JFK stopped the nuclear war pretty much. You know, when the Soviets were supposedly, remember back in the day that if you hide under your desk, you know, they did those drills in school. What the fuck hiding under your desk is going to do?
You get cover.
Yeah, nuclear bomb is heading your way and you're ducking and shit.
Yeah, you better be like 100 feet underground.
I think but JFK became more extraordinary after his death than before his death. But he was still up there. And a lot of people say right now, oh, well, you like Trump and so forth. It's because he's the better option, you know?
Yeah, it's not like I really like Trump a lot, you know? It's like I do think Trump's probably the best option right now.
Yeah, I feel like he is too. Now, let's say,
you know, I do want to say I would love it if Kamala Harris could be a great president. I would love it. You know, if she could be a great president.
She can't though, because look at the last 4 years. She's been vice president and everything's gone to shit.
Yeah, just because the administration she's been a part of, I don't trust her.
Yeah.
You know.
She was an attorney general putting people fucking in jail for having weed.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I think if she would have been a good president, they would have done something by now, and I don't think they have anything. No. I think the Democratic Party, they're like, you know what, let's just let this 4 years slide.
Yeah.
And we'll just put Kamala Harris up there and then get ready. Because to me, I don't care. I shouldn't say I'm Republican or Democratic or independent. I just go for whoever's the better option. I actually loved Obama, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason I loved Obama, he was such a great speaker, really well educated. You know, he had a policy that you know the two that maybe I didn't agree with.
Good. I mean, the way
he was a great president. You know, everybody loved him.
Yeah, I don't have a lot against Obama. I don't think there was a lot of crazy stuff happening during Obama's era.
Yeah, you had the war Medicare, and stuff, but
maybe Obamacare wasn't like the best thing at the time, you know, just because I feel like some people got a little screwed over. with Obamacare and with their insurance. And when they introduced Obamacare, a lot of people got dropped from their insurance.
Exactly. And that means a lot of people got dropped in insurance because they stopped working. They say, why am I going to work and get free insurance, free.
And the companies they worked for, like the insurance companies changed their policies. So they got crappy insurance plans.
Yeah. But besides that, and I'm sure there was a deal that the government made with all these medical staffs. They say, look, once you take Obamacare, you get paid a certain amount of bonus money, whatever the case may be, kind of what the medicine industry does. But that's another topic for another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy that people say, Obama was a bad president. I don't think he was a bad president. I never have.
No.
And he was so loved by everybody.
Yeah.
I also thought Bill Clinton was a good president. He was Democrat. Kennedy's up there, and he's a Democrat. So it really doesn't matter if Democratical or Republican to me.
No,
it's just whoever's.
I think there's potential with anybody to be good.
Have you ever seen the debate of Kennedy and Nixon?
No,
dude, it was the first presidential debate ever televised.
Oh, really?
Really interesting. I recommend anyone who's into this kind of shit to look at it. It's really good.
I'll have to check that.
Dude, Kennedy was a Harvard student. I mean, the guy was smart as hell, really intelligent, had morals, had values. That's why people loved him.
Yeah.
He was well loved, but unfortunately, he was more known for this conspiracy theories and everything that's going on with the CIA. With Cuba. So it's sad, but for me, if I got to pick, I can't pick a president because there's so many good ones, and there's so many bad ones out there too. Horrible.
There's a lot.
There's only two people, that has ran over, had 3 terms as their presidency. That was George Washington and FDR.
Oh, they had
3 terms.
Oh,
3 presidential terms.
3 terms.
Because there's only 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the only people that had 3 terms.
It's crazy.
So that's how good FDR was.
Yeah.
But
I know.
That's just me.
It's a law, right, where you can only have.
Yeah, now it's only 2 terms that you can.
Yeah, but
you can.
So it wasn't like an enacted law back then.
I'd have to look it up. I don't know when the law came to.
Yeah, because I thought there was special circumstances.
No, there's no say. After you do your 2 years, your 4 years, you have a chance to do another 4 years, and if after that you're done. So if, for instance,
but I'm even talking about back then. So back then there was not a law, restricting.
I want to say no, but I'm not 100% sure. But
as long
I don't
as you
think
got reelected.
Yeah, as long as you got reelected and stuff. And FDR well deserved because everything he did, he saved us.
That's
from a
something
war,
they need to put towards.
Why isn't he in a fucking dollar bill?
That's a good question too. I think they need to put that 2-term limit on just all of Congress too.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of people in Congress who are just running for I don't know how many terms. Certain ones, I'm sure there's certain ones that have been there for way longer than they should be. But I think 2-term limit is good for everybody in Congress.
2-term, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to be like fucking Putin. Been there since late 70s, I believe, or 80s.
The current Putin?
Yeah.
He's been in.
You can't run against him, dude. You fucking end up dead somewhere.
Oh,
same with Kim Jong-un.
How old is Putin?
Oh, he's got to be in his 60s, 70s. Yeah, he's up there.
Got to be.
I heard he's like a trillionaire, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a trillion. Obviously, he's not going to give his personal money, but out of gold and everything that he has.
Really?
Yeah, he's a trillionaire.
I wonder where he got all that.
I don't know.
Family wealth built over generations.
Russia's known for finding gold, so maybe they find gold and give it straight to him. I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe so.
But yeah.
Anyways, I wanted to touch the subject,
sure.
Previously that we got on about the distance between Alaska. And
Russia. Yeah.
It was 55 miles.
What?
55 miles. So the narrowest distance between mainland Alaska and mainland Russia is 55 miles, as measured between the western tip of Cape Prince of Wales in Alaska and the southern point of Cape Desnev in Russia.
Dude, that's like news to me right there. 55 miles.
So you can see how Russia would be a little bit pissed, about having about having something right on there. I mean, we are already basically on their border with Alaska.
Yeah. But that's far, far east. That's on the edge you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alaska stretches out there pretty far. Yeah.
Those places, those far easterns in Russia, a lot of people are from like Nepal. They're like half Nepal, half Russian. A lot like like Asian Russians. Have you ever seen those Asian Russians? Yeah,
like Rachmanov, like that
UFC
fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be crazy Why don't you think they put like missiles already, just in case? Have Alaska with missiles, and then have them, and someone just says something stupid, and there you go. That's how easy it is to start.
I know, it's like almost they're so close to each other. I feel like just the littlest thing could.
Yeah,
freaking.
I did not think that was.
I'm sure we're pretty ignorant about how close we've been to war.
Yeah.
Over the last few years,
For sure.
Over the last little while, I'm sure that we've been so close to war a numerous amount of times that that if we knew about it, we would be
aliens, bro. Aliens are like they're like, nah, these guys they're not ready yet.
Yeah.
So, well, Thomas.
Yeah.
This was an awesome conversation.
This was really fun.
I liked it. Anything else you want to say before we head out?
No, I think that's good, man. Thank you again for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Go FDR.
Yeah, let's go.